What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning into my channel, Jace's Own World. I appreciate you coming and checking out this video. In this video, I'm going to be explaining, first of all, it's going to be a two-part video because there's so many different things that I have on my car that I just cannot, I don't want to make a very long video. There's so many different parts. But this video is going to be part one of two series. And what it's going to do is the part one is going to be a video about like all the performance mods and the power mods that I have in my car. As you can see here, I made this huge long list for all this stuff, and I had to make this cheat sheet because there's so many things and I can't remember everything because there's just a ton of things. But before we get into this video, I want to thank all of you guys that have recently come onto my video and subscribed to my channel. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like all the videos and the content that I make. Most of it is about my GTI, but I would like to start making it more like other different things and not just solely on my GTI. But I do want to say thank you for all of you who have recently subscribed to my channel. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And also, everyone, please like this video and share it with your friends and all sorts of stuff so we can get this channel rolling. This is a 2017 GTI. As you can see, it is not stock. I am the original owner of this car, and it currently has about 182,000 miles on the car. A little bit of a history on this car is I bought it brand new, and at about 2,000 miles, I started tuning it. It went through stage 1, then stage 1.5, and then stage 2, and that was on a Eurodyne off-the-shelf tune. After I blew the IS-20 stock turbo on that stage 2 Eurodyne tune, I decided to go the IS-38 Golf R turbo route, and had a turbo failure on that. And then through other things, I ended up with a stock OEM IS-38 on it. But basically, the car has been tuned its entire life. It's sitting where it is now, as you can see. And so I'm going to explain in this video, which is video part one, all of the power mods and the performance mods on this car. So let's get right to that. Okay, so I got my cheat sheet here. Let's go ahead and open up the hood here. And this video I wanted to make, first of all, because I know there's a lot of you guys who are interested in modifying your car, and so I just wanted to give you some of the things that I've done to my car, because it's a really fun car as it stands right now, and there's a lot of things that have been done to it. So you can follow what I've done to my car, follow at your own wheel, and check it out. So do some research for yourself, but let's start with it. So for the turbo, I have the IS-38 turbo right here, which is the OEM one. I've been running this one for about 4 years now, and it's given me zero issues. So it's a legit turbo. It's pretty conservative on its tune currently, and throughout its whole life, the tunes that I've been running with it have been pretty conservative. So I think that's one reason why it's been able to last so long compared to other people's maybe. It is tuned through the Eurodyne Maestro program, and the Maestro program allows a custom tuner to tune the car. So it is custom tuned. My custom tuner's name is Frank Mabo, and he is amazing. So go ahead and check them out if you haven't. I really like him as a tuner. I have multiple tunes on this car. So I have a 91 octane tune, I have an 87 octane tune, and then I have an 87 octane with water meth injection tune on this, and soon to be a 91 octane with water meth injection. They're all pretty conservative, but they're all very fun in their own way. So that's the tuning, that's the turbo, and yeah, so that's that. Let's get on to the engine. For the intake here, it is the stock intake, and I have a K&N filter inside that, as well as a snow grate removal inside that intake. There's plenty of write-ups along with that if you're going to modify the stock intake. I also have done this. As you can see, it's kind of beat up because this is the very first mod I've ever done on my car right here. back in 2017. So it's kind of beat up, but I did this so that there's more airflow going into the stock intake there. For this hose right here, this is the ECS tuning silicone intake hose, and I have a turbo inlet pipe, which is from CTS Turbo, right there, that goes into the turbo. Let's go down here to the cooling aspect of the car. All right, so you can see down there, it's a front mount intercooler, and it's from CTS Turbo, and I decided to go that route partly because IS-38 doesn't really need a drop-in, and also I really like the look of the front mount intercooler. So this has done me really well. I've had no issues with that. Going from the outlet side of the intercooler up to the throttle body, I have the spool-in throttle pipe. You can't really see it here, but I got the spool-in throttle pipe. Maybe right here you can see it a little bit, but that little part goes into the throttle pipe because that is my water method injection nozzle, and that's the reason why I got the spool-in throttle pipe, is because it has a water method injection port for it. Going on to the water method injection, as you can see, you can't really tell unless you notice that little nozzle that's going into the throttle pipe, the spool-in throttle pipe that goes up to the throttle body there. But I do have a water method injection kit in here, and it is the AEM version 3 water method injection kit with a Snow Performance nozzle. So I do not use the AEM nozzle because that one started leaking on me, and so I decided to go the Snow Performance route, and I've had 0 leaks with that one. So I highly recommend, if you're doing water method injection, get the Snow Performance nozzle, and it should be good to go with you. I have it all custom made. I made a bracket for the water method injection pump down here that sits down there, and then I actually routed all of the lines into my factory windshield washer fluid tank here. And so this is where I put the boost juice in here, which is really nice. I think it's really convenient, and that way I didn't have to route all the lines back to the trunk and take up trunk space for the tank to be back there. So this one works so much better for me. Highly recommend that, and it's also a lot more stealth looking too. So really love the water method injection. It's done me really well, especially here in the AZ hot weather. And so we're about to get in boost weather, guys, in just about a month or two, which is going to be awesome. So really love it. Haven't had any issues with it. And then I have the pilot light that's going inside the cabin here. Let me get that for you. A little pilot light right there, as you can see right there. That's my little pilot light, and that light basically, when you're setting your water method injection according to the tune, you're obviously going to need a custom tune for it, but when you set the parameters for the water method injection, that pilot light will turn green. It will light up green, and that basically tells you that the water method injection pump is working and that it's spraying at the correct parameters that you've set it at. So that's really cool. All right, getting on to the next modification in the engine bay. So as you can see, I have these red top ignition coils, and they are made by Lager, Lager. Really like them, have had no issues with them. I just like the look. There's no reason to get the red besides, you know, the look of them. With the spark plugs, I have NGK spark plugs, and I got them in the IS-38 kit, and I've just continued to use them with the IS-38 and the custom tunes that I run because they've done so well for me. Those are the coils and the plugs that I use. Those plugs are also one-step quartered, by the way. Now, I believe as far as performance and power mods go in the engine bay, that's about it. So it's pretty basic, guys, as you can tell. not much going on in there besides the basic bolt-ons, right? So let's get on to the exhaust mods on this car. All right, the exhaust mods that I have on this car are obviously a downpipe. The brand is a Rev 9, made from eBay. It's a 3-inch catless downpipe. It's old, man. This is one of the first mods that I did on my car. So this is a good, 6-year-old downpipe right there. And it cost me like just a couple $100. I had to take it to a welding shop and get new hangers welded in, which cost me like $30. It was no big deal back in the day. This was all before COVID, by the way, so I don't know what the prices are nowadays to do that. But this cheap eBay 3-inch catless downpipe has done me just fine on this car. So, you don't really need to spend a ton of money on a downpipe, because a downpipe is a downpipe, in my opinion. It's just a piece of metal that's bended to form fit the application of the car. Yeah, it's done me really well. So that's the downpipe. Sounds really good too. I'm not going to be able to show it, but I have other videos on this, and it is the ECS tuning exhaust cutout. So if you want to go back into my videos, you can see that. I've made a couple of videos on my exhaust cutout. Just type in ECS tuning exhaust cutout MK7 GTI and it should pop up. But anyways, I have that exhaust. I took it to a welding shop and I had that exhaust cutout welded into the back portion of the catless downpipe that I have. So right before the catless downpipe connects to the stock other part of the exhaust system, right before that I have the ECS tuning cutout welded in, and it faces the ground. So when I flip it open, it's really cool because it gives a sound that no exhaust on this car can really give. Gives awesome turbo whistle noises, and it's just really loud, especially with the pops and bangs and stuff like that I have on a couple tunes on this car. So it's really loud. The only issue about it is because it dumps right under there, it's basically, it will rattle the entire interior of the car. So if you can't bear with that, then don't do it. But I think it's awesome. And I've wired a little flip here switch. This is the flip on, flip off switch for the exhaust cutout. And it's really that simple. It's really that simple. So it goes on and off. It's vacuum actuated, and yeah, that's about it. So it's really cool. I love the ability to turn it on and off with the switch of a button, and it looks, really good in the interior. It doesn't make it look cheap or anything like that at all. So that's really cool. Now the rest of the exhaust is stock. So all I have is the 3-inch downpipe, the exhaust cutout, and everything else is stock. I just put these tips on the back. They're Berger Motorsport tips, which I really like because it fits the factory tips really well, and it also gives a really nice look to the rear end. So much better than the factory, and they're black. You can get them in black and silver. I chose black. So that's that on the exhaust, guys. I really like it. Okay, changing it up a little bit, we're gonna go to the wheels and tires that I have on this car. The wheels I have currently on this car are the OZ Ultra Leggera HLTs in 18x8 ET45. Those are the wheels. I used to have rotiforms on here, rotiform KPSs, and I really like the look of the KPSs, and they were 19-inch, but I just wanted to get rid of the 19-inch because, they were throwing off the miles per gallon and the miles per hour on the speedometer. So, and I also was getting a little tired of the look. So they were black. If you go through my videos, you can see them. They were black. I really, really, really like these OZs. I'm thinking about doing them a different color. Just doing some like Plasti Dip spray or something because I don't want it to be permanent. But I'm thinking of maybe doing like a bronzish color. But anyways, those are the wheels. I really like them. They're really light, a lot lighter than the rotiform KPSs. So I really, really like that about it. And I really like the 18-inch look and just the spoke look of these. The double 6 spoke, they just match the body of this car so well. So I really like them. Highly, highly recommend them. And they're hard to find and they're hard to buy because they're out of stock all the time. But if you can find them for a good deal, I would definitely get them. As far as the tires are concerned, I run the Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires. These ones currently are 225, 45/18. Got a great deal on these tires, so that's why I went with them, and I love them. They're a really, really, really good street like summer tire. They're not the most aggressive summer tire, but if you can find a really good deal, which I have both times, I think I got these ones for like 90 bucks a tire when I bought them. So totally, totally good deal. That's why I went with them. And for the street, you don't really need much more. You don't need Michelins that are super expensive. Unless you're going to the track, you don't need that stuff. Like, honestly, for the street, these are awesome because they not only last a long time, but they grip really, really well. I actually have another set of Firestone Firehawk Indy 500s right here, sitting in the garage, just waiting for these ones to wear out. And the reason why I have these in the garage is because I got a smoking deal on these. They're usually like $220+ per tire. I got them for 130 or 160 per tire, something like that. So super cheap. And these ones are 245, 40, 18s, as you can see here. So a little bit meatier. Can't wait to put these suckers on, but it's going to be a little bit, probably another month or so before I do it. But that is the wheel and tire spec on this car. Love, love, love these wheels and tires. Love the design, love the grip, love how light they are. Definitely highly recommended. Now, along the same lines as wheels and tires, I'm going to talk about the brakes that I have. As you can see, I have slotted and drilled rotors on the front and the rear on both sides. They are stock calipers, and this is an S model, so they are the smallest size that you can get. The S model brakes just aren't that great, a little spongy. So when I needed new pads, I decided to upgrade everything. And these are the R1 Concepts Neogen drilled and slotted rotors. And the pads are the R1 Concepts Street Performance pads. So they work very, very well. They are way better than the stock S brakes. They just brake amazingly. They're great. The pedal modulation is perfect for the street, in my opinion. And I just love them. And they're not overpriced. I mean, I think I got this whole set, rotors and pads, for less than 300 bucks, guys, front and rear. So you can't really beat that. And they look great too, especially with these OZ Ultra Leggera HLT wheels. I really like them. As far as the brake fluid is concerned, I'm running Motul RBF 600 brake fluid. I mean, it's been great. So high temperature, it can withstand a lot higher heat than the stock brake fluid. So that's as far as it goes for the brakes. Yeah, really like them. Now let's go ahead and jump to the suspension that I have on this car. I have previously gone through 2 different brands of coilovers on this car. The first brand was the BC Racing BR Series coilovers. They were okay. They were great for the money. I bought them for like 950 bucks way back then. But they're so stiff on the road, and they clunk on every single undulation, every single crack. I mean, you have to be super slow over speed bumps. And then also the strut bearings started like clunking and stuff. So overall, decent, really good for the price. But if you're looking for a coilover system that's like really good, it's not the best in my opinion. They're just too stiff, even on its softest setting, and they're too clunky. So after that, I went with ST XTA coilovers. In the beginning, I really loved them because the dampening on those were way better than the BC Racing's dampening. The ST XTAs, it was pretty soft over over undulations in the road, over cracks and stuff like that. Way softer, way more comfortable on the street. And I thought they were great, but they did have some creaking and some clunking noises up top on the top mounts and stuff like that, and the bearings, because both of those coilovers were included with camber adjustments in the front, and so I think it's just they were just kind of cheap, and so I didn't like that about it. But I thought they were good. But those STXTAs, one of the struts in the front seized up within 4 months of buying it brand new, and then one of the dampers in the back started leaking, so I had to get those replaced under warranty. And then when I got those replaced, I decided to sell those and go back to a different setup. So I ran OEM suspension for a while until I figured out what I wanted to run, and now when I found out what I wanted to run after a lot of research, I decided to go with Coney Yellow Sport dampers and struts on front and rear, and those were matched with EMD or Emmanuel Design lowering springs. So that's what I currently run on this car as far as the suspension is for each corner of the car. Absolutely love those. The Coney Yellows, the dampening on those are just way better for the street, guys. Probably not so much for the track. Like, you're gonna want something maybe a little stiffer for the track, but as far as the street is concerned, and this car is really only driven on the street and through canyons and stuff, it's mostly a daily car. Well, pretty much is a daily car. But as far as street performance is concerned, the Coney Yellows matched with EMD lowering springs, or any basically lowering spring of your choice, is just the way to go. The dampening is amazing. The road manners, they're very, you can make them very soft, but the dampening when you're going over like little bumps in the road or cracks or something like that, undulations in the road, it's not jarring. And I think also because I put OEM top mounts and bearings and bump stops and all the hardware, it's all OEM, so it's not like aftermarket. So I think it just handles all the road imperfections so much better than the coilovers that I had in this car. Gosh, I love them. Every single day I drive, I love my suspension. It just feels so good. It's so smooth. I mean, it's just amazing. So highly recommend the Coney Yellows with lowering springs. They're awesome. I also have an 034 Motorsport rear sway bar, and it's on its stiffest setting. I can't really tell between the stiffest and the not so stiff setting on the street, so I can't really speak about that, but it's on the stiffest setting. It's not too stiff. It's just actually pretty amazing for the street. So so it's really awesome. So love that entire setup suspension. And I also have Moog rear end links to go with that. So that's all of the suspension. Love it. Honestly, it really made me fall in love with the car again, because I was not feeling it with the BC Racing or the ST XTA coilovers. When I got the Coney Yellows matched with lowering springs and the rear sway bar from 034 Motorsport, it just made the car feel so much better for the street, and I absolutely fell in love with this car again when I went this route. So I highly recommend going this route if you're looking for a suspension setup. All right, the last thing on the performance mod section list of this video, which is once again part 1 series of the modifications I've done on this car, is going to be the clutch. So many of you who have stuck through my channel for a long time know that I have been through a lot of different clutches. Let me just count it for you. The stock clutch, then a DKM stage 2, then another DKM stage 2, then a South Bend stage 3 endurance, then an X clutch stage 2 6-puck, and now I'm on number 6, which is a Sachs Performance stage 2 clutch kit with dual mass flywheel. I am no longer running a single mass flywheel. It is dual mass flywheel currently at the moment. The Sachs Performance clutch kit is really good, guys. I don't have any complaints on it so far. I have almost 23,000 miles or 25, something like that, on this Sachs Performance clutch kit. I've had zero issues, nothing wrong with it. I love it. I mean, yes, I'm not getting the revs going up super fast like I would with my single mass flywheel clutch kits in the past, but I'm not having any issues because so many others, as you've seen in my previous videos, if you haven't seen those, go back and watch them. I have tons of them because I've gone through so many clutches, 6 clutches on this car, right? Yeah, this one is by far my favorite, despite the revs not revving up so much. But I am now at the point with the clutch kit that longevity is the way to go. As long as you have a clutch that can hold your power, get the one that's going to be the most reliable for your car and for the way that you drive. I've explained it many times in previous videos that because I drive my car so much in city traffic, that I think with the single mass flywheel clutch kits and their high clamping force pressure plate, that the throwout bearing slash slave cylinder just can't handle the pressure plate being so stiff, and so it decides to fail earlier than it really should be. So with this Sachs Performance clutch kit and the dual mass flywheel, it can hold up to like 400 foot-pounds of torque. It's been known to hold more than that because there's others who are running like EQT hybrid turbos that are not having any issues with that clutch kit. So it can hold IS-38 water meth injected custom tune power just fine, and it has. And so I really love it. The clutch pedal feel is amazing, and the throwout bearing slash slave cylinder has lasted, which is great because this has not been the case with my other kits. So really love this clutch kit, highly recommend it. I think you can also get it in the single mass flywheel version, but I was just not feeling too confident of going that route, so I went with the DMF dual mass flywheel route. And I don't get any clutch chatter anymore. The pedal feels great, and knowing that it's made from Sachs, who is the OEM manufacturer for the clutch kit on this car, I know that they make a great product and can stand behind their product. So really like this clutch kit. As far as the shifter is concerned, I have a Diesel Geek Sigma 6 shifter down in there. It's underneath the intake here. Love this shifter. It really transformed the shifting experience inside. I've had a Forge short shift kit before in this car, and I put some billet bearings in there too, and it was good, but it still had a lot of play and stuff. But when I decided to go the Diesel Geek Sigma 6 route, it really tightened everything up and just made the shifting experience so much better. Not a lot of money, really easy job. Highly recommend that if you have a manual. As far as the shift knobs are concerned, I currently am using a Racing Circuit Sphere 100 shift knob. I really like it. It's made out of Delrin material, so it doesn't get really hot in the summer. It still gets a bit hot because the summers in AZ are so hot, right? But it doesn't get as hot as other shift knobs. So I really like it, and the way that it's shaped is really nice, a little bit taller. I also have a BFI shift knob that I use in the wintertime, which I really like too. So that's about it on the shifter. One last thing on the transmission fluid. I use Redline MT-LV transmission fluid, and that seems to be a non-issue here in Arizona, at least because it doesn't get too cold in the winter time. It shifts perfectly fine even when the car is not warmed up, so no problem going in and out of gears. So that is about it. That's going to do it for all of the performance and power mods on this car. Like I said, this is part one of a 2-part series. So on the next series, I'm going to basically just talk about like all the other mods that I've done in this car. They're not really related to power, but they're going to be like little things here and there, little bolt-ons, and they're going to be like aesthetic type of stuff on the outside. So that's going to be part 2 of this little 2 video part series. I hope you really like this video. Like I said, I have a lot of different mods on this car, and it's not really like, they don't really coincide, so I don't really stay with the same company. I just basically, when it comes to modifications for me, I find the deals. I find what is on sale. I buy it if I'm interested in that certain part, and I make sure that it's a well-known company, but I don't like necessarily stick with all CTS turbo type parts or APR or anything like that. Like, they're all different, but I find the best deals. And when you find the best deals, you can save a lot of money on your car when it comes to modifications. I know other people with the Mark 7 community that stick with a certain brand, and because they stick with a certain brand, they're spending way more money for the same exact parts that I'm getting in my car. And so, you know, do it at your own will. Some people like that. Some people like to have everything the same, and when they show it off, it looks, you know, all really nice. But for me, I'm more about performance than looks. Obviously, my car is a little beat up. It's a daily driver. It has high mileage, 182,000 miles on the car. So I don't really care about all the like conforming of the same parts and stuff. I just want to get the bang for the buck performance out of my car, and that's what I've done. So I really hope you like this video. Once again, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you for all of you who have liked and disliked and subscribed and shared this video. I appreciate it. I hope you guys like this video, and until the next part 2 of this series, I will talk to you then. Okay, peace.